A Canadian family moved to Russia recently. Their reason being to escape wokeness and the LGBTQ plus community. And also to escape their neighborhood full of, and I quote, homosexual flags, as the dad of his family calls it. Well, they moved to Russia, everything went wrong, call it karma, let's discuss. And go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, that would mean the world, thank you. So, I need to read their names. Arend Feenstra and his wife. So Arend is the dad and Anissa is the wife, right? They actually have a YouTube channel called Countryside Acres. And they're a family of 10. So they have 8 children. It's 8 children, mum and dad. And I have to say, I know that's a lot of children. People look at big families and think it's really, really weird. But I've known like quite big families and they're not like cult-like or weird in any way. Have as many kids as you want, as long as you can take care of them and you have the right amenities. Amenities? Whatever. So they are, of course, a conservative Christian family, but like an extreme one, right? I'm not saying all well, not in a rude way as well, but you can kind of tell by the way the children are dressed, especially the girls. They have these kind of like head coverings and they're quite covered up. And the dad does mention in one of the videos called Welcome to Russia, in the thumbnail, he's shaking hands with Putin, Vladimir Putin. Putin or Putin? For some reason, welcome and Russia are all in capitals and 2 is like small. So he mentions that they've met some people, you know, in Russia and his daughters had head coverings too. So I wonder if that's like a religious thing. It must be. But like I said, you can tell they look some kind of religion. I know I said they aren't weird, big families like that. This family is a little bit strange. I have to be honest with you. From watching some of their videos with an ad blocker on to make sure they don't get any money, they don't really have much charisma. The dad is okay at vlogging, like he talks to the camera, but it's kind of like there's nothing really exciting about him. He doesn't seem to change tone. I also can't understand him a lot. He has a very thick accent and some words I just don't understand. It's not a bad accent, it's just very heavy. The mum is a little bit like, hey, kind of like looking through the camera dead in the eyes. The kids, I don't know how to describe it. The kids kind of look like, have you ever seen one of those like colorized like London in the 1800s and obviously someone's sitting there with a camera and these people have never seen a camera before. And the kids don't know what to do, so they kind of just stand there like this, looking at the camera and not moving. The kids are kind of like that. So their reasoning for leaving Canada, we know, is the gays. The gays and the trans. Super scary people. Well, let me quote from Pink News, because they did an article on it. They say, we didn't feel safe for our children there in the future anymore, said the dad, Arenda. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm so sorry. This was an interview on Russian state TV. There's a lot of left-winged ideology, LGBTQ+, trans, just a lot of things that we don't agree with that they teach there now, and we want to get away from that for our children. Imagine being so scared and so ignorant that you have to leave a whole country. Not even that, but go to a country that is outright hateful towards the community you're running from. It is so weird to me. When I see men like this, right, it's usually the men I think of. Usually I think if anyone else is quite like this, it's usually because of religion and what they've learned, including children, whatever gender. But when it's grown men, I always think, there's no doubt in my mind, if you took that man's phone from him and checked his internet search history, you might see that he actually likes the LGBT plus community a lot more than he's making out. You know what I mean? Can't run away from yourself now, can you? Arena. I forgot his name already. You have to hear this as well, right? In regards to learning the language Russian before moving there, which they didn't, by the way. And from watching some of their videos, the parents are always saying, when they're talking about the people they've encountered in Russia, they didn't speak very good English. Well, that's because you're in Russia, hun. You're in a different country that doesn't tend to get a lot of English-speaking tourism. You know what I mean? They go on to say like they were kind of naive in terms of learning a language. That's not all they're naive about. But Anissa said, the wife said, I needed to use the washroom and the doors said male and female, but I didn't know which one was which. Talking about Russian language. And then the dad goes on to say this, right? Talk about being an absolute pussy. In America, that wouldn't be a problem. It's a free-for-all in the bathrooms, but now in our world it matters, her husband added. It has never been a free-for-all for bathrooms. There aren't men and women and people who, non-identifying people running into every bathroom, pissing everywhere, shitting up the walls. It's not a free-for-all. People just want to use a bathroom. That is it, of their gender. That is all. And sometimes you get unisex bathrooms, which is great, Like and also there's childcare toilet. Like, it's not a free for all. Okay, I want to watch this clip also. So this is from one of their videos. The dad touches very briefly on why they've done this.
Most people in the last 30 years would be going the opposite direction, and not too many people would move from America to Russia. And so obviously that question arises. The curiosity is there of why would you want to come this way? And here, I think this is something that we could do a full YouTube video on, but I believe that Hollywood in general, media in general, has done a really, really good job of portraying America as the place to be. And they, of course, all across the world watch a lot of our stuff. And they get this feeling then that everything's a lot better where we are than where they are.
I don't think that's the case. People love the US, of course, they love Canada, but a lot of people are also very happy just in their home, and a lot of people don't think, other people are better than them.
And since we've been here, I've heard a few times now, I've heard stories of people who have come to America thinking it's going to be better and then end up coming back here again. And that would be more in the last, 5 years, let's say, because things are not as honky-dory at home as they once were. I would say all in all...
He means the gays.
Yeah, it has been very, very good, and in many cases still is good. But as far as a Christian nation, it's definitely slipped a long way. So we could do, like I said, a full video on that sometime. But it was very good service. We're home now again. We're going to have some food to eat. Maybe get out for a walk. Yeah, it is warm.
Okay, well, that's very boring. Let me just say this. There is nothing wrong with being religious, right? And I understand that the world is full of different people and they're going to have different beliefs in different countries and different places. That's why I, as an individual, don't go to a lot of different countries because of their beliefs, right? I get that. I know that's life. I understand it. Could it be better? Absolutely. And here's the deal, right? I will defend religious people. I don't think their religion should be stripped away from them at all. But when it starts bleeding into it being a Christian nation, not everyone is Christian. There are other religions also. And a lot of people also don't believe in any religion. However, I am totally up for if you want to move to a country and make that country your home because they believe in all this stuff. Why does it have to be hateful though? Why can't you just get on with your fucking life? I don't want anything to do with your family. I don't want anything to do with your kids. I don't even fucking like kids. What's happening here? All I want to do is work and sit at home and eat. No gay person, trans person is trying to do anything to your family. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. Your family aren't even that interesting. So, a very brief and vague explanation of why they moved, but we all know why, right? So they moved to Russia, seemingly overwhelmingly unprepared, right? This is how, what's the word that isn't insulting? Well, no, I can insult them. They moved a country to accept gay people. This is how stupid they are, how ignorant they are, right? They hadn't found a place to live before they got there. They now live in a 2-bed apartment. I think they moved to a farm recently, but when they got there, they were in a 2-bed apartment. Bear in mind, there's 10 of them. They didn't pack appropriate clothing. Now, I've moved country a couple of times, right? You really have to do your research. At a minimum, Google what the weather's like when you're going to get there. Google what the climate's like in general, People had to, in Russia, they didn't have to, but people donated clothing to this family because they arrived so unprepared about how cold it was that they would have frozen. I've never been to Russia. I don't plan on going to Russia, but I know it's fucking cold. I know that's a thing, right? Their journey so far, they don't speak even the most basic parts of the language. Ignorance going to a country that, is so out of touch with the rest of the world. Why would they all learn to speak English when their mother tongue is Russian and in their eyes, the best language to speak? They have no home. They haven't packed the right clothes. There's another big fuck up coming. One thing they did do is get a Russian bank account. Okay? Let me tell you about bank accounts. Whenever I go to a different country, whether it's vacation or I'm moving there, I figure out what the banking situation is going to be. You need a new bank, and more than likely, I have opened a card in the UK that can be used in other countries, and I'll use that. And I've Googled what countries it can be used in or on their website, and I will use that until I set up a bank account, right? I don't know why I said it like that, bank account. So they got a Russian bank account. They transferred all their money from their American account, their Visa account, into their Russian account. Now, what they didn't Google at the time or even just look into, I feel like they had this ignorant mind that every country is the same, so they just went with it. MasterCard and Visa don't work in Russia when they're issued by like a foreign institution, right? So when the family moved like a large amount of money from selling the house or whatever it is they did into their Russian account, it got flagged as like money laundering, like it would in any other place. So like, this is really suspicious, it's dodgy. So they froze all their money, they froze their accounts. Now, which is understandable from any bank. So the mum, what was her name? I don't care. Anissa? Something like that. She went onto their YouTube channel and started saying things like, I'm very disappointed in this country right now. I'm so ready to go back home. Commenting again on how no one speaks English at the bank. Like, why? They're not required to have translators for you because you decided to move to their country because you hate gay people. Now, this quote ended up in an article in Russian press. There's obviously a lot of press around this family because they're like, oh, you're doing the right thing. You're moving to Russia. And this actually was then seen by the Russian government, and they weren't happy, leading to them having to do a press conference about how sorry they were and what they really meant. And I find it really strange that they knew they were going to be on TV in their new home country and they chose to wear this. That's not here nor there. Anyway, the fact that a family have moved country and put themselves in this situation where they don't speak the language, the weather might not be completely different, but it's a extreme kind of weather, is like unbelievable. Very strange to me. It's so extreme and so petty. And I think everyone is saying what they've done is really brave, but it's really not. It's really like you're really weird and actually really scared of something that is nothing to be scared of. It's really strange, and a lot of people are laughing at you. Anyway, all right, let me know your opinions down below. Thank you so much for being here. Do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.